Hello, welcome to the review of the fourth episode of The Acolyte. We are reviewing the episode called Day. So I am with my co-host Olympus,
Hello.
and I'm Ben or Ben Curno. Nice to see you. We are going out on YouTube via Trek Wars and Fantasy, and we're also going out via Apple Podcasts as the Acolyte Review Podcast. I hope you're dry and hope you have some views as well. Not some of the really over the top hate that is going around, but if you have views, I'm happy to hear it, good or negative, as long as they're not horrible. Because what's going around on Twitter and other things is way over the top with some things I've seen.
Oh,
So
I totally agree. It's been rather disgusting, actually, to some extent. I don't appreciate that at all. No, we are here. We are constructive. We want to see any constructive criticism, be that positive or negative, in the comments for us to talk about. But please, 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 as Ben says, keep it constructive. We do not want to see any outright hate or any nasty comments regarding the show. It's just absolutely uncalled for.
yeah. Anyway, cheerful note. Let's get on to it. So,
Absolutely.
shall we just start off with the intro? It was very short, or at least the first scene in the intro before the uh, initial credits, and that was us visiting the house of. I was still trying to get used to the names. Kataka, Kanaka, the Wookiee. So I'm gonna regret this in a year's time when we all know all the characters out off the top of our heads. What did you think there? I think there were some interesting things to see on that one.
There were. It's as you say. I think the poignant thing that I noticed in this, and I'll repeat it actually for the rest of the episode in general. The entire episode just felt very short. It was very
Oh yeah,
quick. Um, and I'm not going to lie, it is so quick. I can't quite remember what happens in that first scene. I
yeah,
remember seeing the Wookiee Jedi, and that's about it.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, basically it would be enough for probably a 20 half an hour program in the UK or a 45-minute one on someone with adverts. So okay, we do have adverts over here, but you had Kanaka just walking into his house doing knocking something, picking up something, and then we saw lots of decoration around his
spirals.
house.
I remember now. You see the
Yeah,
spirals on the wall right at the end there. It's the same spiral imagery that you saw from the witches.
yeah. So that's got me curious there. So that was interesting in itself. Uh, yeah, I don't have much more to add apart from that's added for me. Bit of not necessarily mystery, but why added to the what are these guys regretting from what they have done. I want to find out, and I want to find out now, even though we're not.
Well, yeah, it means all these years later, he's still pondering on whatever was going on with them to some
Yeah,
extent. So, yeah, I really wanted to know what that was all about.
yeah, I completely agree. Then we go to Coruscant. It's going to be a bit like that. Go for Coruscant for a little bit here. Um, but we saw Jackie training with a lot of other people, um, and then ended up talking to Usha. Um, I that was like an interesting. They come up with some kind of bond on their journey so far. I don't know how much of it is 100% they get along or 100% they both have friends or had a master called so or slash have a master called so.
I don't know. I see a bit of a connection forming between them. I think they're getting a bit friendly. At least I like to see it that way.
Oh, I do. And at that point, did change my point of view by the end, but I thought she was going to end up going off solo and go by herself and find out what her sister was doing. I don't know about you.
Uh, I didn't. It just felt. I actually saw I saw it coming that So we'd ask her to go with them, or someone would ask them. Would rope her into the trip to find the Wookiee Jedi that I can't remember the
Yeah.
name of. That's terrible. But yeah,
Oh,
uh,
Kanaka. I think, or Kanaka,
thank
or
you.
something like that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's I did see that coming, and I'm glad I was right.
That was the intro. Went through the credits, which I have a bad habit of just skipping whatever it is. I'm terrible with that. What about you? Do you just skip the credits, or
Sorry, I missed you there.
are you?
Yes, no, I watched the credits, but they're super short.
Yeah,
So
fair
it's
enough.
okay. Uh, I've it's a habit I picked up watching Outlander, because so far through a particular season of Outlander, the credit sequence changes a little bit every time based off of where the characters are and what's happening in the story.
Fair
So
enough.
from the point when I watched that show, and I'm watching the credits every single time just in
Yeah,
case.
I know there was at least one in another program I watched, which I won't mention the franchise here, but anybody who can see my name will probably guess what franchise it was from. Um, but anyway, we ended up going back to Kofa again, and we had um, the May and I forgot his name, the
Oh, the tracker.
guy from this tracker from the not the tracker, the guy from the shop that took over the shop rather legally.
Oh
That
yes,
was May's
sorry, May. Yes, it's May and
helper or whatever you want to call him.
can't remember his name either. That squirrely looking guy.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm pretty sure when I say they, I'm gonna go they as in uh, the Acolyte slash Star Wars slash a character. I'm pretty sure is playing up on the being a bumbling idiot, and it's just like dropping something, and it's just like it's occasionally going, "I'm a bumbling idiot," and then goes on and does something you
I
wouldn't
need to.
expect from a bumbling idiot. And as we're recording this, I suddenly realized was going, we have put the credits too early. There was another scene on Kofa between May and Quimir. Is it Quimir?
Chimera, I think.
Quimir. Yeah. Um, Probably have to listen a bit more careful next time, and write it down. But he was definitely acting as the bumbling idiot in my head, or at least was like dropping the stuff.
Oh yeah.
Definitely deliberate in my eyes, because he keeps going from being, yeah, almost a bumbling idiot or somebody who is pretending that he doesn't know as much to somebody who suddenly knows 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 as much or knows a lot. So excuse my English, but
I have just hazarded a guess, but I won't mention it just now because we're too early
uh,
into the review. I will wait till we get towards the end. Then I'll give you
yeah,
then I'll give you my guess at a potential plot twist that could come soon.
yeah. I didn't probably think about that at the time, but after seeing socials, uh, completely accidentally, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Oh, because
Much.
I've not read any socials on this yet.
So I'm wondering if it's the same. So, oh, so yeah, there's definitely more to him than that. Okay, I was thinking that in episode 2, but definitely now that confirms that he might be even bigger. And he was, and this is our first hint that we find May maybe thinking about her sister, and she doesn't have to do this now. Doesn't have to do the murdering, because yeah, he reminds her that it's like sister is alive, doesn't change anything. Any thoughts?
not at the moment. Apart from that, I
Fair enough.
agree that Camille was acting a bit bumbly idiot, which is interesting because he acts like that in one sense, and in another sense, he acts quite almost intelligent and shrewd. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
he's a funny character,
Yeah,
and he's almost trying to egg her on a bit in that scene. I think trying to keep her on track for whatever this path is that she's going down. I can't say
Yeah,
much more than that at this point in time without ruining the following bit. So probably a good point to move
fair,
on.
fair enough. And after the ads, we went back to Coruscant to a meeting, not a full-on council meeting, just a general meeting. Can I just say, I believe this has been verified. I didn't see the credits with his name, but I've seen people publish it. But Monday, Kaya Dear Monday appearing in this.
Yes,
And he,
is it? Is it him? Is it him? We don't know though, do we? They don't mention him by name. And I couldn't honestly tell you how, what the lifespans are for that species.
yeah,
At the very least, definitely the same species, 100%.
yeah. And I'm gonna just say, I should have tried to look harder about this, trying to find the credit itself just to confirm that it was a young him. But presuming it is, the big controversy online. I'm trying not to do too this much in front of you, any controversies, but and it is mentioned on some things. But this is saying somewhere he was a lot younger, and this shouldn't be coming out while he was alive. He should have not been born yet by quite a big period of time.
Okay, I have just IMDb'd it. It is Derek Arnold playing Master Kiadimundi.
Yeah. Oh, so that's confirmed. We were looking at that earlier, so we probably should have confirmed it there. But
Wow. There you go.
but I don't know where the source was that gave him his age originally, but I'm presuming it's something that's not canon anymore. And I don't have anything to say as minor quibble in my head. I know that may offend a lot of people, but minor quibble in my head, I can get over it.
Yeah, I can get over that too. You know what? There's a first little nostalgia piece that they've thrown in from the original movies, or I should say the sequel movies. So yeah, you know what? Pretty happy they did that. That was nice. It gives me hope that we might get a little Yoda cameo at some point. The other thing that I found very interesting about that meeting, because I thought that the Milarian, if I've got that species name right, Master, I thought she was part of the council.
I presume she was, yeah.
But she
Um,
obviously isn't.
or is she just not going to tell the rest of the council?
Well, it could be that. Yeah, it could be that
Yeah.
too. That's
So
a fair
yeah,
point.
I know she is from some of the shows, some of the books and other stuff in the past. So I'm not sure the details, but she is a canon character, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure on that because I have not read it, listened to it, watched it. So, but I think it's just a case of, yeah, it's again the bureaucracy. That's why everybody started hating the Jedi in the trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and not everybody, but some people were hating the Jedi just because of all this arrogance and bureaucracy, and they seem to do their own thing, whatever they wanted to see. It saw themselves better than everybody else. Anything to add there? I know I probably didn't describe that well, but
No, no, no. I kind of see where you're coming from. I think for me, they were just trying to avoid scandal at the moment, aren't they?
yeah,
Because this, as soon as this reaches the ears of the council and then it gets reported to the Republic, it becomes public knowledge, and these Jedi who are meant to be untouchable and perfect are suddenly not. It destroys a story, which there you have it. When you think back to the quote from that secretive dark master at the end of episode one, talking about basically, you destroy the Jedi by destroying this story around them, this facsimile.
yeah,
Part of that facsimile is how perfect the Jedi are, keepers of the peace. They're uncorruptible. They are the force of good. Take that away from them and show people that they're not perfect. It takes away most of their power instantly, which
true.
is what could happen if this all gets out.
Yeah, definitely agree. And one thing I want to say before the end of this little section is Kaede Monday in the original trilogy, or prequel, not the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, was saying about we haven't seen Sith for 1,000 years.
Yep.
That's another thing going around. And as they
We
were
haven't
saying
seen
in
Sith
this,
for a millennia. That's the quote.
sorry, a millennia. Thank you. They didn't even consider it, or at least out loud in front of us, to the audience, that this is a Jedi. I presumed it was some other kind of sect, another Jedi, as one of them said. This is the way of getting around that comment, that thing in 1,000 in the prequel trilogy.
Well, I think it is. It's currently
This,
being assumed that this individual is not Sith.
yeah, and the thing is, they may not be Sith.
I don't think they are.
Yeah,
Dark side Force user, absolutely, but then I don't think they're Sith.
yeah. No, I'll have to see more, but I'm going. It's either not a Sith or it's somebody that doesn't get recognised by the relevant people as a Sith, or being told to the relevant people that it was Sith. So, any thoughts on that meeting before we?
Nope. Let's move on.
Okay, back to Ko for a second. They're walking up a path. The Quimar.
Come here.
Sorry, terrible.
That's okay.
And May having a conversation. This is where, again, I'm presuming this is either very bad writing or very bad acting, or this person is, both of them are acting like normal people. One is Kumar, who, again, almost playing a bumbling idiot, or somebody who's not necessarily being somebody who's right with words. And the thing I want to mention is suddenly Meg at one point, and this only changes the tone, says, "Can't believe my sister is Jedi scum." And the way she said that seems she was almost trying to get a reaction out of Kamir. Slash, this was her going, I don't think she believes that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. At the time, I actually took it as her describing her like that. I did kind of take it, but when you see the subsequent scenes with her afterwards, I totally changed. That totally changed my perception of that scene, which is clever.
Yeah, at one point, I think she did maybe possibly think, not necessarily her sister was Jedi scum, but the Jedi were possibly scum. So, and probably maybe to a degree.
You do remember that she does have a hatred for the Jedi over what happened with her family, so that's why I initially believed the way she described them, her sister there.
No, fair enough.
Not so much describing her sister as a Jedi. Sorry, let me rephrase. Not necessarily describing her sister as scum, but describing the Jedi as scum.
No, fair enough. I generally agree. Anything to add to that?
No, not on that particular scene, apart from, sorry, I'm now going to just get a tissue and dab my nose, because this cold, everyone, has just been, like, unwavering. It has just not shifted for nearly 2 weeks now. See, I think it's the second recording that we've done where I've been full of this cold.
Yeah, they're not good.
So, remind me, what's the scene that comes after that one? Because I lost track, actually, with the amount that they cut in and out and in and out. I lost track very quickly about which scenes landed when. So we might, just, I guess, a disclaimer to everyone watching or listening, we might get this order a little bit muddled up as we go through this, or at the very least I might.
I think this is the last scene on Coruscant, if I remember correctly, or my writing is up to scratch. And that was So and Osha having a chat before they went travelling. And And it did actually seem like Osha at this point. This is where I changed my mind of her wanting to go out to Stonehill for revenge. Was she actually did seem like she wanted to forget it and carry on with her normal life.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and yeah, and I can see it's not great, but I do like the persona between the two characters. They do seem almost like they do care for each other.
Oh, they've got genuine relationship, and the actors are playing that very, very well.
I don't really have anything to add to that other than
These are
their.
all very small, very short scenes that are connecting together to bring us to the point where they all head off and everyone's on that planet.
Yeah,
Right?
and
And that's the
yeah,
thing for being such a for having such a vast selection of scenes in this episode. It goes so quickly, and let's be honest, not a lot happens.
no, it doesn't. And
But
to me, this is just world building, character building. This is who I am. This is what our relationship is, and not quite tying the knots, but this is
so
just adding.
no, yeah, exactly. So credit in a way to the writers and the developers of the show to be able to take an episode where nothing really happens and make it feel like like it flows pretty quick.
I completely agree. It seemed good to thing. Then we ended up on the ship that
Yes,
they were on with. Damn it, I've had a moment blank on the name. York. Put your shirt on,
Yord,
York.
yes,
Put
Yord,
your York.
Yord Vandar.
Yeah, and um, we see Osha, and we later find out Basil, uh, who we later find out is the tracker. Uh, Not quite necessarily having a conversation, but uh, Basil getting basically attacked by the droid with water, I presume. Um, I presume it's water. I've got no idea, or some sort of fluid.
Who knows?
Who knows? And then it's basically comes to a scene which I like a little sentence, even though this may be a bit dry to some, where Jackie starts talking to Jackie quietly where this brief is coming on, and then Yord goes, "Any questions, civilian?" And it's just like I think that's a bit of a personal joke, but it's also Yord being Yord a bit too probably sensible. And it's like, and she
Oh,
said, "Yeah, very comprehensive briefing," just as a nice joke back.
yeah. She's really good with her chilled, laid back approach. Yord is trying to be all prim and proper again, and again, it just really speaks volumes to their relationship, doesn't it? I also
Yeah,
love as well because I've been every single episode. Gorgeous Jedi outfits. Look at the costumes. The outfits are amazing. And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm not wearing the civilian robes." And she gets put in these drab, grey, horrible looking robes. It's the first outfit I've seen in this show, and I'm like, they're horrible. And you know what? They're horrible on purpose. So well done again.
yeah. No, I have to admit, yeah, I do like that. There is civilian rose, which to me sounds. I was going to say weird, but I presume this is for people around Jedi temples who are not Jedi, who maybe work with the Jedi, friends with the Jedi,
Yeah, exactly that.
etc.
It'll be people that are working on the Jedi staff and whatnot who are not obviously part of the Jedi Order, as an actual Jedi. Um, and when you think about it, with the amount of Jedi you've got, that's probably a good thing because it means that they can very easily identify who's in the Jedi team that they are with, or who's out in the field who is a Jedi versus who is staff. Let's call it.
Yeah. Great. Fair enough. I guess you don't have much more to add to that. So we eventually get back to Kofa, where I believe everybody is now. Um,
Ooh,
you have
ooh.
gone,
Before
go
that,
on.
so one thing which I absolutely love to see, the Jedi Starship, I'm going to use a Star Trek term, warps in, exits hyperspace at planet Kofa, uh, and it detaches the hyperspace drive, which it just took me straight back again to the prequel trilogy when a lot of the starfighters had hyperspace rings that they detached from when they come out of hyperspace. I thought that was a very lovely little touch and a gorgeous design that they did as well. They did this very, very similar concept in a different way. It was beautiful and I loved it.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's good. Then as I said, we get back to Kofa, which this not quite the scene, but the conversation was Yord having a quick conversation with not Jackie, with May about the her
Osha.
carrying a gun. OSHA, sorry, damn it,
Hey, they're
OSHA.
twins. They're identical twins. It's easy to get
Yeah,
mixed up.
yeah, having a conversation about the gun. That's something that seemed like was pointless there, other than just small talk. And
Yeah, you forgot about it. I thought,
yeah, forgot
but
about it.
you say that was almost pointless. I've just thought he was. That's probably just another example of him trying to exert his authority.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that.
And
But
it
the
is a
thing is, the reason I
pointless. It's a pointless attempt because you can tell as soon as they move on, he's completely forgotten about it. So it was just him being
oh
him and being a bit of a
Whoopsie.
about it.
yeah, I would have probably liked to see like so say something else, but I can see where you're coming from, and I said, yeah, I'm going to say I agree with your point, which is fair enough.
That's how I see
Uh,
it, but I do agree with you that they could have done a completely different conversation and got just as much out of it, probably potentially even
yeah,
more out of it.
yeah,
And I just find that it's a bit jarring their relationship at points because in 1 minute there's that whole
friendship.
friction going on, yeah, and then the
How
next
friendship.
minute she's confiding in him and looking for his support, and he's being supportive, and it's just like decide which way you want to go because
Yeah,
normal relationships don't usually work that way.
yeah. Try to come over as you were maybe former friends and build it up. In my opinion, that could have been better. I think.
Yeah,
Uh, Actually, very similar time, there was a conversation between, I can't remember OSHA and I don't know if it was yours again or somebody else, but saying we may need to kill her. She may not give up easy. Um, and there was me from thinking, I'm thinking, come on, you're a former Jedi. And then I realised that episode 3 series, episode 3 show, she was they were showing she thinks she is somebody who will go too far, who is stubborn, who will burn things down, get nasty, get horrible. So to me, yeah, it was me first looking. I was going, nah, I don't like this cat. And then it's like, actually, no, I can see her point.
yeah, when you reflect on it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe they could have added a little bit longer in there, little comments here and there, but yeah, that again wasn't my favourite spot, but I can see why they had it there. It adds to what I think OSHA thinks of me,
Yeah.
um, or what she thinks May can do. I'll rephrase that. What about? I suppose if unless you've got anything else to say, next one I think is the millipede or the flying millipede.
So you've got. Oh look, this guy's a tracker. So you realise he's a tracker. He's a bit like a sniffer
Oh,
dog. Give him a
yeah,
scent of something and off he runs. Which then takes you to the millipedes, and we identify that they are attracted to light. And I'm like, fantastic. What's the point in that? Because I think I was expecting all of them to wake up and there'd be a big swarm of them and they'd have a big battle or they'd have to run and whatever. And none of that
yeah,
happened.
yeah,
I was just like, again, it was what the second or third thing in this episode. I'm like, that's great, but why?
yeah. Because the forest is dangerous, and but yes, that would have been thing. Or yeah, luckily so worked out that they were attracted by lights because he did not go in front of or beside uh,
Oh, sure.
Osher. He stood behind. Maybe he noticed very quickly that he was attracted. They were attracted to light. But I'm looking at thought, went, hang on, wouldn't you get in front of these just a defender and then suddenly realise they were like maybe that's just me, but
No,
I'm
no, I don't
nitpicking a
think it
bit, but
is.
that's what we're here for, I suppose.
Yeah, true, true. Just, I feel like they could have done a lot more than that, or maybe there was a
Yeah.
purpose to that. Maybe there still is. We might see it in the next episode. Uh, but yeah, and I guess there was another point to it, wasn't there? Because Osha's talking to Jackie uh, afterwards, saying that she's starting to reconnect with the Force now. Again, one of these Kyle Katarn moments where she's starting to reconnect with her powers, and she could sense the presence of that flying millipede. But her
Oh,
realizing that led to its death, and that
yeah.
you can see the philosophy of her trying to understand what does that mean. So I
Yeah.
guess there was that point too, but it just felt a little bit cobbled.
Yeah, true. That chat actually I did like, and you can relate that to the whatever they were, the birds and the butterflies on their planet, where she did use like a little force to hold it for a second and then left it, and then her
Yeah,
sister did the same. She said to stop. She obviously doesn't like to see these animals get hurt, uh, which is fair enough. I'm the same. Um,
living beings all connected through the life force.
of course, very true. And yeah, this was interesting that saying that the force, you seeing somebody get, I'm not going to say necessarily the force powers back, but force, yeah, almost getting their force powers back. It comes back to them with through doing certain things or practice maybe or
Yeah, yeah, it's a reconnection. Uh,
reconnection.
it's kind of in a way a little bit like riding a bike. It's just learning how to connect with the force again. And that's something that you see in a lot of different Star Wars media. It's been explored several times now. So excuse me, it's not a new concept, and I'm really, really enjoying seeing that process happening. Albeit you're not seeing too much of it yet, so you've just had tiny little hints. But then these episodes are very short. I will say it again. There's
Yeah.
only so much they can fit into them.
Oh yeah, and I don't necessarily mind, let's say, call it a half an hour episode,
Oh,
but
I do
I
because I want to know what's coming next, and
oh
because they're leaving each one on this cliffhanger that makes me want to know what's happening next, and I can't. I need to wait a week. It's very evil.
it is. But my point is, okay, I would prefer it. I think this is capable of having potentially an hour for at least an hour airing, or let's say 45 minutes if you're going to take into account ads for some markets. But uh, yeah, it's in the end that's their choice. Yeah, hey
It
ho,
keeps it fast
it's
paced. That's the benefit of it. It keeps it fast paced.
definitely.
So keep me honest here. But we have that scene with the flying millipedes. Then you have the scene with May and
Mhm.
Camille,
Yeah,
where is this the point where May turns around and basically starts changing her mind,
yeah, it
and
was.
he's like, "Oh well, you know what? You do need this rest. I'm gonna go off and get whatever he's gonna get." And then you see her getting back up after he's left, and you know that she's up to something.
Yeah. Well, my first thoughts originally by this could still be truthful, but it was. I thought, oh, she knew she was better without him, or he thought she when she's thinking about it, she will get over it and get on with it, and left her alone. I wasn't sure which at the time, and
Yeah.
it may still be the case. Well, maybe still be the case, but I'm not 100% sure if that is. And maybe we'll explain that when we get right to the end. But
Could be, but that obviously leads to the trap that she sets up for him, and he ends up
yeah,
hanging from the tree, and she just abandons him there. And he's all, "Oh, what you doing? Help me!" Ah. Um, which again, it was an interesting little twist. I didn't expect to see her betraying him in that way, and I didn't expect to see her mind potentially starting to turn. So at this point, you're asking yourself, is she running towards Kalnaka to turn herself in like she was just telling Kamir, or is she running towards Kalnaka to try and fight him? I don't know which it is.
I think she was generally not going there to fight him in the end. I'm thinking she was. I think she probably had at least enough of that lifestyle. Whether she wanted to turn herself into the Jedi completely, I'm not sure.
I
Not
want
unfortunately. Gone.
I want to believe that. I want to believe that her realizing that her sister is still alive changes everything for her.
Yeah. And yeah, I think there is a lot more twists to come, and I I generally believe it can be anything. Uh, there is, damn it. Should we get quickly onto, or not quickly, mention the end game? Uh, while we're here, um, well, actually, let me quick.
Yes. So the end game, May arrives at Kalnaka's to find Kalnaka dead.
Yeah, and a lightsaber.
And she
Uh,
realizes right away he is here. He who she believed wouldn't be able to find them out here because he didn't have a clue where they were. He obviously does.
yeah,
The Jedi surround Kalnaka's, say to May that she has to come out. That's when he appears. Lightsabers ignite. It's a cool Jedi moment, and then they're all blasted backwards. End of episode. And me sat there going,
a brilliant cliff. I think lovely cliffhanger. Okay, yeah,
very
no,
nice cliffhanger.
yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, what happens next? Okay, it's usually with two-parters like that or cliffhangers, you can usually find a little bit of disappointment sometimes, but oh, I love it. It gives you time to think about what's next.
Oh, it does. It doesn't. Who wants to bet that the next episode's called Night?
Actually, like it. I think so, and maybe when we do a flashback of May, maybe if they do that, they would do an opposite one to whatever that title was, which I've completely forgot, but that doesn't matter.
But oh, Destiny. Destiny was the flashback.
Yeah.
So
Oh
this
yeah.
this takes me to my theory. And I'm not saying I believe this theory, but I can see it. This Khmer, who is being, kind of goofy and stupid one moment, but keeps letting away these, little parchments of wisdom, let's call it, and these little comments and little things he plans, which feel relatively smart. He's not there, and all of a sudden, this bad guy is.
As
Is
yeah.
it Khmer?
When I saw about this, I didn't think of it at the time, but maybe that's because I like to watch the story and don't necessarily predict as much as I should. But I was believing that, and then it was just like, actually, wait a minute. What if they're trying to double bluff us? As
Very
in,
true.
make us think this is them, him, and then go, this is actually going to be somebody completely different. And this Khmer told him that they're going to be here, follow us, or maybe knows
Possibly.
this. Yeah,
Possibly. Could be that too. I don't know. Just it's you've never seen them both in the same place.
very true.
Equally, you've never seen me and Batman in the same room. But I'm not
Very true.
Batman. Or at least you guys don't know whether I am or not, I guess.
No, fair enough, and I get that. If that happens, I can easily believe it actually, and it's yeah, that would be an interesting twist. It's just to go. I know I've seen that in the Star Wars: The Old Republic playthrough, where you have the bumbling idiot who actually is a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm hoping it's not him because it just feels a bit too obvious.
yeah,
But I
I'm
can
hoping.
I can potentially see it coming. Is that the theory that's going around on social media at the
Yeah,
moment?
it
Cool.
is.
Cool.
It is that.
I said I've not. I purposely hadn't read anything on Twitter or the like, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't go on there regularly, but I flick through it too many times to be to annoyance. But
So
anyway,
generally, unless you've got something else you want to add, what's your view of? Oh, there's one thing. His mask. It looks like he's got this evil grin going on.
It
Is that
is.
there's metal studs or whatever they are that goes up? That's the other thing I wanted to add.
Yeah.
That was pretty creepy, pretty cool. But
I don't know if
that's
I like
when you
I
go.
like it, but it has the effect that I think it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure I like the design so much, but I do think it's creepy, which works well, I guess. So, unless you've got anything else you want to add, what are your general thoughts of this episode?
I I actually liked it. I would say it is one of those ones where it was an information uh, episode. This was to tell us stuff, and I believe it did that with a fantastic end. So generally, yeah, it was. I would say it was above average because it. I still think it was good, but it was just not a. It's not necessarily what I would necessarily go back to quite regularly, apart from probably the end.
Yeah. For me,
Uh,
it was a filler episode done very
yeah,
well with a very good cliffhanger ending that is going to take you, hopefully, fingers crossed, straight into the action in the next episode, or at the very least into the aftermath and a continuation of the story. I think as a filler episode, it worked very well. It helped develop some of the characters a little bit further, and it didn't labour too long on any particular point to make it feel slow and boring. It was quite quick. But I think, me at least, I looked at it and again, I see this as a filler episode
agree.
and nothing much more than that. So would I rewatch it? Very rarely. The previous three episodes I would definitely rewatch. This one I'd rewatch because I'm going through the series for completion's sake, but I'm not missing anything apart from the
Yeah,
last 2 minutes.
yeah. I agree with you, and I think it's either there's going to be for the next week a cat and mouse uh, chase between everybody, and it'd be interesting to see what May does as well. I don't know if they will join up. I think there's going to be a change in cat and mouse between almost three parties. So
It's
chasing each.
there's a question as well though: is why has this mysterious master appeared now? Why has
Yes,
he
it,
interrupted May's mission to try and kill a Jedi without a weapon? Why has he confronted the Jedi? Like, what's
yeah,
changed to make him do that?
completely agree. And why do they want us so much? Yeah, I think it may be something to do with the previous episode, episode 3, because the Witchers were trying to get those children specifically to take over their cult and be
Yeah,
charged of agreement for them for power, uh, for being in charge. And what have they done to create these two children? They were. That's. I think that's behind why he is so much interested in.
I like that. I like that. So he actually wants both of them. He wants May and he wants Osha.
Oh, maybe actually, yeah. I yeah, that is a possible. I wasn't actually thinking that, but yeah, I like that, and yeah, almost doing an Anakin trying to get him to the dark side, but in a different way. Anyway, that's my thought. I'm looking forward to the next episode and seeing what that's like, and hopefully we're both out of colds.
Yes, absolutely. Somehow you've managed to catch mine through the ether.
Yeah,
Sorry. But no, that's been really good. As I said, I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed talking to you about this again, as always. And I look forward to episode 5, whatever that may be called. Fingers crossed I'm right and it's night.
yeah. So if you want to catch more of us, we do a Jules Across the Stars together where we compare Star Trek to Star Wars on certain subjects from starships to villains to animals, which is out as the day of recording. So yesterday, as this goes out, hopefully,
Yep.
um, and seeing who basically wins per episode. So um, that can be found on Trek Wars and Fantasy, and all your good podcast providers of choice. So Spotify, Apple, and a few others out there. Anything to add, Olympus?
No, apart from thank you as always. Thank you to everyone who has watched and listened. We really appreciate it. Please remember those likes and subscribes. They do mean the world.
Yeah. And before we go, I've got one more question. When we log off here, stop recording, how will Scotland be doing against Switzerland in the European Championships?
Oh. Now, I think Scotland have at least one goal. And the reason I think that is because just after we started recording, I heard my downstairs neighbours screaming at the top of their lungs, which means either Scotland have had a goal, because for anyone who doesn't know, I live in Scotland. Either Scotland's had a goal, or something terrible's happened. You can never quite tell. Actually, let's have a little look. Scotland v Switzerland.
I believe it is Switzerland they're playing anyway. I don't watch football as much as I used to. Oh.
Okay, 68 minutes in. It is 1-1.
Not bad.
That is a little bit better than the first game that Scotland played.
Yeah. I'm going to not necessarily come for this as an English fan, but as a fellow Celt from coming down from Cornwall. But come on, Scotland. Well, I want England to beat you in the final. So.
Nice. Although I do have to ask, what does OG mean?
Own goal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently Scotland lost a goal through an own goal, or gained a goal through an own goal. Switzerland scored for them.
Potentially, yeah.
For Pete's sake.
So,
wow. What can you say?
Anyway, so also if you want to put predictions in on YouTube and Trebles of Fantasy, or if you can do it on the podcast bit, feel free, and see who you think's going to do better, England or Scotland. And
we all know the answer to that.
So thank you for watching. Hope to see you out in there in cyberspace.
May the force be with you.